Hello, you wonderful Rise of Kingdoms players out there. This is Dragothien here. Today we're going to be picking back up our Commander Mastery Guide series. It's been really active with all the other things going on. The migration, the KBKs, all these different things, right? Let's get back to some things that's going to help the community grow, pick the right commanders, all that good stuff. We've got the Osiris League playoffs wrapping up here in the next few weeks. We've got our finalists in the last round. And a big part of their success is this commander right here, Ramesses. So when he first came out, I think that he was probably one of the better archer commanders that have come out since, say, Tamiris, I think is in the running there. Edward, for the most part, is really relegated to a rally role, and obviously before that, I think the only worthwhile archer commander to go after would be YSG. So Ramesses has really kind of come into a role of his own, especially with Osiris League, and even in KVK has a very particular role. I want to tell you with this video how to unlock him, which I've already kind of got in front of you, how to use him, what his skills are all about, and why they're important. And then I'm going to follow this up with a pairing guide for Ramesses so you can use him to the most effectiveness on the battlefield. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. I've got a little bit of starring to do on him too once I get these skills up to date, and I may actually make him one of my next commanders that I max, just simply because now that I'm in 916, I've got some time to max out some of these extra commanders here. So first off, let's go through the skills really quickly. We'll then go through the talents. I'll bring up a couple talent builds for you as well, just to kind of give you something to play with. But for the most part, you really are going to want to use him for fighting. He's one of the best archer commanders for fighting, especially support-wise. So first off, he's got a skill, his primary skill here, Ceremony of Karnak. It's similar to the way Freddy's skill works in that it's got a tick type of damage. So 800 times 2, it's each second for 2 seconds. So that's a 1600 skill damage factor nuke. It also reduces the defense by 25% for 2 seconds. That's a big deal, especially when you're considering the next skill behind Ramesses, if he's a primary, which I recommend using him as a primary. That's going to impact the next skill going off too. So very important to realize that. The second skill is just a raw 40% archer attack bonus. I think that's always good on a archer commander. They're made for maximizing damage and crowd control. And I think so far the first two skills kind of check that box on each one. Third one is a nice utility skill, and this is something that's akin to, say, a Saladin, very similar type of bonus. You have a 30% skill damage taken reduction, which is huge. You also have another 40% archer attack bonus and a march speed bonus of 40%. That's very nice. Now, the 10% chance affects the attack and the march speed, so take that into account. But that skill damage taken reduction, that's permanent. That's all the time. So very, very important to know that, but also this makes that a very, very good skill. This is Army of Amun. Skill is very, very needed. Now, this is the reason I'm saying this. Stop at the third skill. When unlocking, when trying to level this commander up, you want to go 5, 5, 5, 1, and you can open it up to 5, 1, 1, okay, before you move forward. The second skill is very nice. The 40% attack bonus is very nice, and it's good to have. But you can kind of mix between as you're putting sculptures into this commander and get these two eventually up to 5-5, then unlocking to the fourth one, which is a very, very important skill. This is his healing skill and a defense bonus, which is very necessary, but again, on a 10% chance. So it's not like Takeda where you know for a fact you're going to get that heal every single cycle. This one's a little bit more of a chance-based skill, so you got to keep that in mind, but still it usually ends up firing off about once every cycle or so. Sometimes you get a little more lucky, you get it twice or 3 times, and sometimes it's a little bit more delayed just based on your luck. But for the most part, you can count on this happening every skill cycle anyway. So very, very good. This is for 3 seconds, guys. So 500 healing factor for 3 seconds. So that's 500, 1,000, 1,500 ticks worth of healing. Very, very nice. And then finally, his expertise. You gotta expertise Ramesses if you're gonna use him as a main. Like, you want to have him heavy duty fighting, doing some heavy duty lifting. You want to have him as expertise because you have a heal immunity effect. This is the main purpose for Ramses in endgame. You want to have his heal immunity effect. So you get the damage factor, which does get bumped up to 1,000 times 2, which is now 2,000 damage. That's very nice. And the defense gets a little bit of a bump to 30%, also very nice. But the main part of the expertise is the second part. Meanwhile, it is inflicted with a heal immunity effect for 2 seconds. So this is what you have to kind of figure out. First off, you want to make sure that your skills go off before another's primary skill. So for instance, if you're going up against a Richard something, right? You want to make sure that your Ramses primary skill goes off before Richard's primary skill. The defensive talent tree with the infantry talent tree has some rage generation stuff. So you need to make sure that you've got some rage generation happening to go in front, because if he heals and then you hit your nuke, it's a completely pointless expertise, with the exception of a little bit of extra damage and a little bit of extra defense reduction. So you want to make sure that you are going to be doing maximum rage generation, okay? So let's take a quick peek and go into what the builds should look like for this commander, because when we go into the talents, there's no skill tree here, okay? So you've got, well, if it wants to actually zoom out, there's no skill tree. So you've got archer and you've got attack. Now there are rage generation bonuses in a lot of these trees. You've got burning blood here. You've also got, where's that? It's not that one. There it is, razor sharp. It's almost a must-have now, guys, because of the fact that you want to make sure that you fire your skill off first. Okay, so let me pull up the talent build for you so you can kind of see what that looks like. Go ahead and open it for you. This is for open field and for rallies. Here you go. Go and zoom in so you can see it. As you can see, I basically spec'd out the entirety of the tree for archery. I also went heavy into attack. This gives you effortless. This gives you counterattack damage reduction and I believe normal attack bonuses as well, or vice versa. Didn't go into the martial mastery skill because, again, you usually are going to have a skill damage secondary behind Ramses, so that would be pointless. You're going to reduce your own damage, and the rest of the talent tree for the attack is kind of pointless, especially in a rally situation. So with that being said, this is the build that I would go with for Ramses whenever you're talking about just open field and rally, which is his main purposes, guys. He's not meant for garrison defense. Let's not kid ourselves. But this gives you a bunch of stuff. When you're talking about the bonuses that you're looking to get, again, I did 2 out of 3 on the rage generation on the archer. I found that to be enough to get ahead of Richard's first primary skill, his heal. Also took burning blood, of course, to get to effortless, and then a ton of extra skill damage. When you're pairing Ramses with maybe Tamiris or maybe with Artemisia, those are all both really good pairings, and that'll be inside of our pairing mastery for Ramses, which will be coming up next on the channel, so you guys can have everything you need to get Ramses. So why do you use Ramses? To kind of wrap the video up here. So why do we use Ramses? We use Ramses because we need to have a couple things. Maximum damage, which is what archers are really for. We need to have some debuffs. Well, guess what? Primary skill, reducing defense when expertised at 30%. A little survivability. Okay, well, we got skill damage reduction at 30%, and we've got a pretty darn good heal. We've also got some increased defense. So he's got all of it. He's got damage, he's got defense, he's got heal, he's got damage reduction, he's got debuffs, he's got a little bit of everything. He's one of the better archer commanders available to you. We do have 2 new archer commanders coming out next, I believe. I've read some places, Nebuchadnezzar and Cyrus the Great are what their names are going to be. That being said, why do you use Ramses and why is he useful in the end game? You use him for all those purposes that I just described. He's a well-rounded commander, and I love versatile commanders like Ramses. That's why I'm probably going to max him. Where do you use him? His best uses are in a rally. So the prevalence of Theodora, Zenobia, Charles Constantine, those anti-Attila rallies, this is a secondary type of rally. I would pair, again, this will be in the video, but I will pair Ramses with Tamiris, Artemisia, YSG, All of those are great pairings, and you could even throw an El Cid in there, guys. Put that disable on the back end of all of this, and you're talking about some massive amounts of crowd control. Now, this is a good main primary rallier. You just got to make sure you own the open field because he can be swarmed down. It is a little hurting for the swarmers. It's not quite Attila Takeda level, but it's better than your generic, normal, random, like Edward YSG, for instance, from a severely wounded standpoint. He does do some significant normal attack. Other best use, Ark of Osiris. Have this as one of your swarming armies whenever you're doing a rally against a forward-facing structure. He will more than likely reduce the healing of Richard, Zenobia, and any other healing-based garrison to the effect of even Constantine. If you time it right, you'll reduce his main heal on his 4th skill substantially. And we're talking substantially. You can actually eliminate it. Okay, so that's what makes those commanders so good, is their heal. And if you eliminate that heal, they go down a lot faster. That's why you see in the end game, you've got 3, 4, 5 Ramesses, because they're chaining those healing reductions, those healing immunities, really. They're eliminating a big chunk of the survivability of all those commanders, which are made to go up against Attila Takeda to great effect. And with a bunch of Ramesses, with El Cid as secondary, or Ramesses with Herman even, if you don't have El Cid, those will be very beneficial for you from a swarming perspective. They're doing skill damage, they're doing disables, they're doing silences, all that good stuff. Now, Theodora, you do have the immunity to a lot of that stuff. However, again, you can time these stuff, because that has to be cast. It's not a permanent immunity. You can time these Ramesses hits to where they're going to be outside of that immunity time frame from her primary skill. So that's what I'm talking about. That's what Ramesses is for. He is necessary for endgame and will be for quite some time. And again, open field again, find yourself a Richard and go mess his world up. That's basically what Ramesses is going to be for. He takes out healers. He does reduction for people swarming. He does amazing in Arc. He does amazing in open field. He does amazing in rallies. He's just a great all-around commander. You should definitely have him in your repertoire. He's part of my Commander Max Order video because of that reason. It's just so good. I hope this has been beneficial for you guys. Again, pairing video for Ramesses coming up next, either later today or early tomorrow. And I will see you guys next time. Cheers. Have a good one. Take care.